You know Shaletta makes you laugh, but did you know Shaletta Brundage can also make you think and boost your business? Media personality, activist, and comedian Shaletta Brundage founded Shaletta Makes Me Laugh to celebrate and share the best of Black culture. It's a podcasting platform. You can download 10 weekly podcasts hosted by African-American subject experts at ShalettaMakesMeLaugh.com or wherever you find your favorite podcasts. ShalettaMakesMeLaugh.com is also a production house, creating broadcast quality commercial content. And Shaletta and her team of storytellers create powerful promotional campaigns to get businesses the brand awareness they're looking for. Some of Minnesota's top businesses trust Shaletta, and you can too. Get out the word about your events and products and get in front of communities of color with ShalettaMakesMeLaugh.com. She's got the power to help your business.
Hello, lovelies. Welcome back to another episode of Get Lean and Lit with Lindy. This is the podcast where we completely ditch diet culture, we build strong bodies, and we prove that getting older doesn't mean settling for actually feeling older and feeling broken down. None of that on this podcast. So today we're talking about something that honestly drives me crazy. Women tell me all the time, I've been lifting for years, but nothing ever really changes. I hear that like constantly. My response is, really? Then I ask a few follow-up questions like, what exactly are you lifting? How close are you lifting to failure? How much protein are you eating? And suddenly the mystery starts to solve itself. So here's the deal. Most women are not failing with muscle building and fat loss because they aren't working hard. That is not the case. They're failing because a lot of times they're working hard on the wrong things, putting the effort in the wrong location, wrong place. So today I'm going to share the 7 biggest weightlifting mistakes that I see women over 40 making. And I'm also going to say how to fix each one. So from my nearly 30 decades of experience in the health and wellness space, I'm going to break it down for you guys very succinctly today. So get out your pens, get out your pads, and let's get into it. So, like I said, I have 7 key mistakes. I'm sure there's much more, but the 7 that I see most frequently, we're going to start with mistake number 1, which is treating strength training like it's cardio. So if you're lifting a cute 5-pound dumbbell for like 45 repetitions while casually chatting with your friends and just hanging out, talking about the weather, that is not strength training. I'm sorry. That's more like arts and crafts with weights. Your muscles only grow when they're challenged. Not because you're holding a pink dumbbell while scrolling on Instagram between sets. If you finish every set thinking, well, that was easy, you know what? It's not going to move the needle towards your goal at all. You got to challenge yourself. About 20 years ago, I realized that I had been lying to myself. I finished every workout feeling super accomplished because I was sweaty. And I'm like an adrenaline junkie, so I was sweaty thinking I was doing something. But sweaty isn't really the goal when you're strength training. Results are the goal. So the first day I actually chose heavier dumbbells for my workout, I remember getting to like rep number 9 and thinking, oh, this is what the gym bros mean about challenging yourself with weights. So that was the first time that I really, truly trained close to failure. So within months, my shoulders looked different. My legs looked and felt stronger. And it wasn't that magic happened. It wasn't magical per se. But I just finally started asking my muscles to do something different, something difficult. So I encourage you guys to do the same. Don't stay stuck in a rut. Mistake number 2, you're afraid of heavy weights. Now, I want to permanently retire the phrase, I don't want to get bulky. Women always say that. Lovelies, at our age, we struggle to maintain muscle. We are not accidentally waking up looking like professional bodybuilders. That's not a thing. Building muscles is a slow process. It's a very slow process. But you know what's easy? Losing muscle. Every birthday after 40, losing muscle gets easier and easier and easier. And that's biology. As I like to say, muscle is your retirement account for your metabolism. So every pound you build keeps paying you back for years to come in the future. Okay, mistake number 3, you're never progressing. That's a big one too. If you've been curling 15-pound dumbbells since the Obama administration because Michelle Obama's arms inspired you to build your own muscles, your body has definitely adapted to that weight, to that specific weight. Muscle responds to progression. You have to challenge your muscles with more stimulus, whether it's heavier weights, doing more reps, better control of your weights, maybe better technique. Something has to be improving continuously. Otherwise, you're asking your body to stay exactly the same. And guess what? Your body listens and will do just that. It will not change if you're not challenging it in some way, shape, or form. So once I figured all of this out for myself, I started writing every workout down. Every exercise, every set, every rep, every weight that I used. At first, it felt like I was being very obsessive about it. Then I realized something, that I wasn't guessing anymore. Instead of thinking, I wonder, did I lift 20 pounds last week or was it 15? I knew precisely what had gone down during my last workout. And that very tiny habit made me stronger almost every month because I had a target that I was working towards. So my progress stopped being accidental and became more intentional. So I have the best little tracker that I'm going to put you guys onto that I would strongly encourage you to use, either this tracker that I'm going to tell you about or some type of tracker, whether it's electronic or on paper or whatever, to track your lifts, to track what weights you're using, all those things. So the tracker that I use, I buy on Amazon. No sponsorship, no paid anything, but I love it. I buy it on Amazon to help me keep tight tabs on my strength training workouts. So the book is literally called, if you want to search for it, Hardcover Fitness Journal Workout Planner for Men and Women. Again, it's Hardcover Fitness Journal Workout Planner for Men and Women. So if you want to check it out, it's sold by a company called Nextnoid, and it sells for $16. It is like the most valuable tool for me. It has 140 pages, which lasts for quite a while. I think I use 2 a year for the most part. One book might last me for about 6 months, tracking every single strength training workout. So it's the best tool for me that I found for holding myself accountable and for seeing progress in real time. So I encourage you to check it out or get some other type of tracking instrument for yourself. So mistake number 4, you're changing workouts every single week. No. Social media has convinced you that we need muscle confusion, the term muscle confusion. Let me just say your muscles are not confused at all. They're basically underemployed for most people. They're on vacation. You cannot master strength movements if you replace the strength movements every Monday because somebody on TikTok invented another glute exercise using a resistance band, a Bosu ball, or a prayer, whatever they're going to come up with to sell you basically on something. And that is so unnecessary. Consistency is going to beat novelty every time when you're strength training, every single time. So if you get the lifts down that are critical to what you're doing, you can progress. You track those specific lifts and you progress those as you go along. That's how progressive resistance works. All right, we're on to mistake number 5 if you're taking notes. Mistake number 5 is big because a lot of people do this. You're trying to out-exercise poor nutrition. You cannot out-exercise a bad diet. We want to. People want to. I want to sometimes. It's not happening. You cannot do it. You cannot do it. Here's my analogy. You can't build a house without bricks, right? You need a foundation. Protein is the bricks. Carbohydrates are the workers delivering the bricks. Sleep is the construction crew. You have to stop trying to build muscle on like caffeine and hope and prayers because that's not going to work, especially after the age of 40. 40 and beyond is a whole different ball game. So you have to eat enough calories in general, but specifically you have to eat enough protein. And as we've talked about on my podcast before, you have to eat 1 gram per ideal body weight in protein. So if you want to weigh 120 pounds, you have to eat 120 grams of protein every day or get very close to that target. You have to lift heavy. And when I say lift heavy, I mean lift heavy for you specifically. My heavy lift may not be your heavy lift. Your heavy lift may not be your sister's heavy lift. Everybody's heavy lift is an individualized situation. So lift heavy for you. And you have to recover. You have to recover well and recover with a purpose. And then repeat it over and over and over again. So it's a very simple formula, but it's not necessarily an easy thing to execute because you have to have consistency, you have to have determination, you have to have perseverance, you have to have the will to actually do what you are supposed to do to reach your goals. All right, let's move on to mistake number 6. You don't get close enough to failure when you are lifting heavy for you. So this mindset changed everything for me. You should probably have 1 or 2 good reps left in your tank when you finish most working weightlifting sets. You shouldn't have 10, you shouldn't have 12, you should have a max of about 2. And that doesn't mean eking out your last rep with horrible form. I've seen so many people trying to just use momentum or contort their bodies in such a way that they're getting 1 more rep. That's not doing it. That's not what you're supposed to be doing. You have to keep your form clean, but you shouldn't have enough energy left in a certain lift that you can do many more than about 2. So it means you're putting in an effort against something that is actually challenging you. That's the key there, is a challenge. So there's a big difference. You have to keep your form pristine really to avoid injury as well. But you have to be close enough to failure to make the lift count. So I'm going to tell you guys a quick story. One day I was at the gym. So I go to a local gym. It has all types of people, young, old, men, women. It's a nice gym. There's lots of personal trainers there, people walking through different routines and whatnot in the strength room. There's a dedicated strength room. So one day at the gym, I watched a woman finish the leg press machine, which if you are very familiar with machines at the gym, the leg press is a very popular machine. You basically lay back and you're doing a serious workout on your legs if you're doing it correctly. She was smiling and chatting. She smiled, she racked the weight, she walked away. And me being me, I was ear hustling. And for those of you that don't know what ear hustling is, that was being eavesdropping and being nosy. I heard her trainer ask her, how many more reps could you have done? So she laughed and she said, probably about 15, very lighthearted. I was like, wow, that's crazy. So sadly, her legs never even received the message that they needed to grow muscle and they needed to get stronger because she was not challenging herself, not even a little bit. And I'm thinking to myself, why is the trainer even there if he's not coaching her and helping her to get to the point where her legs are actually responding? So that moment changed how I judge my own workouts. And I encourage you guys to do the same. Now, when I work out, I ask myself one question almost after every set. And the question is, could I honestly have done three more reps? If the answer is yes, then I automatically increase the weight for that exercise the next time it comes up in my routine. And in my little book, I have a plus sign, which indicates next time, add weight. That's how I do it. So mistake number 7, this is the last one. You think soreness equals success. Now, how many of us have just really done a workout all out and been very sore and really think we've done something? You know, being sore is actually not proof of a good workout. It's really just proof that your body experienced something different or something new. So you can make incredible progress without feeling like you got hit by a truck. In fact, if you are constantly sore, you probably are not recovering well enough to train hard again the next time. And one thing I want to know is to tell you guys to remember that recovery isn't laziness. A lot of us are like of the mindset of no days off, because I used to be like that myself. Like I said, I'm an adrenaline junkie for the most part. I'm kind of a reformed one because as I've gotten older, I can't just be running around getting my heart rate up to 180 all the time. It's just not realistic anymore. But recovery is hard for people that like to work out like me to actually take time for recovery. So taking a day or two off a week is very challenging. It's still challenging to me to this day, but I know that I have to do it because it is necessary for optimal recovery. You have to give your body the time to build back stronger and better after a challenging workout. That is necessary because that's when your muscles grow, is when you're down, not when you're doing the actual exercise at that time. It's when you're resting. So, lovelies, those are my top 7 most common mistakes that I see that prevent women from maximizing their time and getting results when they're doing strength training. I also gave you the solutions for how to fix those mistakes. So if you notice that you're doing any of those things and you need to fix them, please take note and realize that they're very fixable, but you have to do it with intention. So it's time for my final thoughts on this topic. And here's what I want you guys to remember. Lift heavier than you think you can. Most people can actually lift heavier than they think they can. Don't let your mind be your limiting factor in your strength training. I want you to meticulously track your progress. That is critical. You have to know where you are today and where you're planning to go tomorrow for your strength training to become progressive resistance. Okay, progressive resistance is the key here. You have to eat enough calories. And within the calorie breakdown, you have to make sure you're eating enough protein. You should have protein with every meal and with every snack. Please don't fear carbs. Carbs are not to be feared. Carbs are to be used strategically. They're to be used around your workouts. So before you work out, you can have some carbs so you can have energy and get your stores up so you can be active and be successfully use that energy to move through your strength training program. And after you strength train, you should have some carbs to replenish your stores for the next time. Stick with the program. Don't hop around from programs week to week to week to week. I mean, personally, I do the same program for at least 12 weeks, progressively increasing my weights over that 12 weeks. And then I might think about adding in a different exercise or two. But for the most part, a lot of the exercises are evergreen exercises that you can do for the rest of your life, but you just have to make sure that they're challenging. Train close to failure, as we talked about. That's really important. So that stimulates your muscles and lets your muscles know that they need to stick around, if not get bigger, because you need them. And as I said, know that recovery matters. It's important. Because really, at the end of the day, the women who transform their bodies after 40 and beyond aren't the women chasing the newest, trendiest workouts. They're just not. They're the women mastering the fundamentals, week after week, month after month, year after year. That is how you build the kind of body that can carry groceries, that can carry your grandchildren if you have them, that give you confidence, and that supports your independence as you age. Not just through your 40s, but through your 50s, 60s, and 70s and beyond. So I'm going to leave you guys with a challenge of the week. I got some homework for you guys. Here's your homework. This week, choose one exercise, just one. Maybe it's a chest press, a squat, a row, a shoulder press, you pick. And instead of stopping because the number on your workout sheet says 10 reps, ask yourself, could I honestly do 2 more reps with good form? If you answer yes to that question, next week it's time to go a little bit heavier on that specific exercise. Increase the weights. So progress doesn't happen by accident. It happens one intentional rep at a time. That is my message for you guys today. Well, lovelies, that is all I have on today's episode. If this episode made you rethink how you're lifting, how you're strength training, send it to a friend who still thinks that 5-pound dumbbells are toning. We're not talking about toning. We're talking about strength training in this podcast. And if you enjoyed today's breakdown, please subscribe, leave a review, and share this episode with your friends and your network. Every review helps women discover that building muscle after 40 isn't just possible, but it's one of the best investments that you can make for your own personal future. So until next time, keep it real, keep it consistent, and I'll catch you on the next episode. Bye.
Boom! I just earned a $600 bonus with an Old National Bank checking account.
You got this.
I do?
Earn up to a $600 bonus when you open an eligible checking account and complete qualifying activities. Old National Bank. Just another reason to get old.
Can you say bonus?
Our mission is to positively impact and enhance the lives of those who serve or served. So the Support Center, we built this as a place to really be a community center for those that we serve, those vets, those first responders, and then their families. It's a place where they can go be with other people in a safe, healthy, welcoming space. Our Support Center has a big focus on the arts because the arts are something that help our people heal. We have a large wood shop, a laser room where we laser engrave, wood, metal, plastic, glass, slate, all kinds of different things. And then we have an art studio where we paint and we color and we draw and thread work. And we have a 3D printer in there. Then we also have a gym. We also have access in our space to immediate access to therapists and support that way. So, when people are having a tough day or they just say, today is the day I need to talk to somebody. At a normal place, it's really hard for you to just walk in and get that support, whereas here we have that.